let's move on to analyzing our competition, which is things that we're going to use in our playbooks, specifically for me in our company and also in our marketing playbooks. So I'm going through this right now, and we've done this ourselves. And then we also guide clients on how to do this as well. So one thing I want to keep in mind is that before you please begin this process, do these exercises that I'm going to show you for yourself first. Um, why I want you to do that is it really helps you be clear about who you are before you start analyzing someone else. It doesn't mean you can't make changes, but it's kind of like a magician who says, have you seen the card? Do you know exactly what it is? I want you to know exactly what you are before you look at your competitors, because if you don't, then you get wishy-washy about yourself. And you really need to have clarity in who you are and, what is going to make you different. So you can see this is going to allow you to be clear about that particular process. And if you haven't done this for yourself, Joe will share a link to our download personas and some other tools that we have. We actually have we have 3 downloadables you can work through that are absolutely free, but just go through some of these things and these exercises as yourself first, and then do your competition. It is extremely important. So let's talk about one of my favorite charts. When you evaluate your competition, you really do need to come at it very methodically, right? And so ask always the same questions of each competitor. So one of the things that I think is extremely important, and remember, we have to look at different things like this, and you can add more to this. So one of the ones that, I have here is brand voice. Does that organization exhibit particular values? Do they have language or tone or personality, right? Every business does. And these are the things that often differentiate us from our competitors. So you should have done this before you do your competitors. You need to be clear on who you are. And then when you look at your competitors, you'll be able to see how you stack up or what needs improvement. Okay. Design, style, and colors. It sounds like an interesting thing to put in here, but it's funny because one of the reasons when we do competitive analysis, we look at this is because when we then go back, especially with a client who wants rebranding, sometimes we want to have known where they are and look at the market so we can have the conversation of, are we blending in? Do we need to stand out? What's happening? Is there any particular trends? But before I do that, I need to be clear about these things. The active communication channels they're on. Now, there's so many today. And that's one of the things that, like, you guys might have seen, like we did a TikTok versus Instagram a month or so back. Should I be on these platforms? What other communication channels are people using? There's so much. So I want to show an example of what this looks like. Brand voice, simple, minimalistic, personality is friendly. It gives feeling of friend, values, family, friendship. This is one that we did for a client of their competitors. I won't share which one it was, but it gives you this sense. Now, I don't know if there's been any questions yet on this, but if you haven't taken the ChatGPT session and you don't know, how do I know this? Because I know that's the question everybody wants to know. Like, how do I know what my competitor's brand voice is? How do I understand that? I'm not an expert at this. That's where my buddy ChatGPT comes in handy. Is one of the things that you can do is take copy from their website, or if you're using ChatGPT 4, you might even use a plugin that has a link reader, and ask the ChatGPT, can you tell me what, the brand voice is of this content? And it will help you understand how to do this better. And you can do this for each of your competitors. You could also do it with a copy from their social media posts, things along those lines. Ask it about the style of their language. So that can be a great way for some of you to leverage what's out there if you're not an expert.